Why, I don't
Are
know.
there 3 waves of
Doofus,
feminism?
why can't you give me a definition?
Are there 3 waves of feminism?
There's 4.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's 3.
There's actually 4, yeah. It's just... That's not what you meant, dumbass. We know that you implicitly meant that there are 3, right? There are 3 waves of feminism.
Oh, you didn't know that? That's crazy.
So there are 3, correct?
she fucking cooked him here.
There's 4.
Right, but that would mean there's also 3, even though
Oh my god, this is so fucking... Why are they both so stupid? They're so fucking stupid. She doesn't understand any philosophy, and he's basically like a robotic retard. He's like a trained AI that is in essence retarded.
What we can agree to of what feminism and patriarchy means. Because now, you're doing is...
I gave a very precise definition for patriarchy, right?
Sure, I did
And you
too.
gave a very loose definition as to what you think feminism is, which could encompass conceivably anything that helps women. And that's an ambiguity fallacy.
Then provide a different definition. Don't agree to it.
In my opening statement, I said that I believe feminism is a revolutionary philosophy that destroys society. It was brought about to change society in toto and ultimately to serve into oligarchical designs and people who, and I gave sources. You can read the Rockefeller's authorized biography. They have a whole discussion
That's also
of Abby Rockefeller funding
That's also
third wave feminism in Cell
Sorry,
16.
how is this not just as ambiguous as the one? It's just,
Yeah, she's right. She's right here. She's completely right. It's more accurate than what Kyla has said. Definitely, it's more accurate. Like, if there is a Venn diagram of what feminism actually is, what Kyla has said and what Jay has said, what Jay has said encompasses way more of what feminism actually is, and Kyla's just fucking in nowhere land, right? But still, it's still ambiguous.
just a revolutionary
Just as ambiguous.
system?
I'm literally giving.
It's not exactly just as ambiguous, but he's not giving the defining characteristics of feminism, what distinguishes it from that which feminism is not. He's saying that it's a revolutionary philosophy. Okay, it is give the distinguishing characteristics or attributes of feminism as a revolutionary philosophy, which distinguishes it or characterizes it as not the revolutionary philosophy as other revolutionary philosophies. And he hasn't been able to do that, or he hasn't done that so far, I should say. Correct myself.
You the people who funded it and the actual names of the
That
people, like
doesn't- none
Cell
of this-
16.
I don't know why you're appealing to. I don't know why you're appealing to authority right now. None of this
No,
matters.
Jay is retarded. Yeah, like giving quotations. I refer to so many people. It's like Jay does this all the time, and I really wanted to talk about this. Actually, I really wanted to make fun of Jay because he does this all the time. He brings up a board. Look, I hear you on the board. When he says on board, you want to chew on right. Or he brings up a book. If you look through Jay Dyer live streams, right? He holds up a fucking book, right? When he's talking about a subject or he's giving it his opinion on a matter, right? Philosophy, politics, be it anything. He picks up a book, an old book, or an obscure book, and he reads passages from it, highlighted. He's like... He makes these old people sounds. He just makes there's every possible sound that can come out of a human's face, comes out of his face, while he's pointing to a book. This is what the author said. This is what the book said. It has, like, nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with your definition of feminism. Just saying, I brought up these philosophers, or these people, these writers, and authors, I give you a specific definition. It's like, no, your definition is still broad. Just because you brought up a couple of people, it doesn't make your position any more valid or your definition any less vague.
That's not an authority. That's the people involved. It's not an authority appeal.
Yeah, if the people
You don't know what an
who you
authority
think
appeal
funded
is.
them is an authority for the
I
definition
gave the
of
people
feminism,
involved, like Abby Rockefeller,
that
who
would
was
be an
herself.
authority.
No, it's not.
Then why are you citing them?
It's a person who's in the movement. It's not just the funder.
Yeah, you're appealing to authority.
You
right
don't know
now.
what an appeal to. That's a fact. It's not an appeal to authority. You don't know what an
you are
appeal to
citing
authority
them.
is.
Yeah,
This is
no,
something-
using it as a definition is an appeal to authority. Listen. This is kind of splitting hairs, because an appeal to authority is basically saying that X is the case, that X state of affairs is the case because I can refer to this group of people and they affirm it, right? X proposition is the case because I can refer it to these group of people and they affirm this proposition, right? By virtue of their status or by virtue of their relevance to X thing, right? If the proposition X is dependent on these people's affirmation, or it cannot exist without these people's status or involvement or relevance, then sure, that is not an appeal to authority. But if you're giving your definition, you're saying feminism is a revolutionary philosophy that is designed to destroy society, or feminism is a revolutionary philosophy designed to destroy society and human civilization, right? And you cite a bunch of people to reinforce your definition, right? And say, in my reinforcement of this definition, I'm appealing to these people that have an authority on the matter because they're involved and they also believe in the same thing. It's like, yeah, that doesn't make your definition true, right? Even if they did, like, if they weren't involved in the propagation of feminism, right?
Definition of feminism.
Yeah, that's not an appeal to authority.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes,
you don't know what an appeal to authority. If I said my position is true because I cite the Rockefellers, that would be an appeal to authority, and
You're
that's
saying
a fallacy.
This definition
is an evidence,
true
goofus.
because of the Rockefellers.
Did he? But that's the problem. Did he say that? Like, that is the definition. His definition is correct by virtue of these people agreeing with it. If he did, then that is a appeal to authority fallacy.
If you want...
No, I'm not. I'm telling you the history of the movement, which you don't even know
again,
about.
I've asked you to define feminism, and now
I'm giving you the history of that movement, which is three waves. Are there three waves of feminism?
Why can't you give me a definition?
Are there three waves of feminism?
There's 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's 3.
There's actually 4, yeah. It's just... Oh, this is so bad. How many waves of feminism are there? There are 3. What he's saying is there are only 3. She says, actually, there are 4, which would negate the proposition that there are only 3. He says, well, actually, there are 3. If there are 4, then there must also necessarily be 3. It's like, that's not what you meant, dumbass. We know that you implicitly meant that there are 3, right? There are 3 waves of feminism.
Oh, you didn't know that? That's crazy.
So there are 3, correct?
she fucking cooked him here.
There's 4.
Right, but that would mean there's also 3, even though.
Oh my god, this is so fucking. Why are they both so stupid? They're so fucking stupid. She doesn't understand any philosophy, and he's basically like a robotic retard. He's like a trained AI that is in essence retarded. Okay, he's actually not. You realize that he's just not a smart person. He can't think on the fly. That's why he needs 25 years of reading books to try to think of things, to try to use it as justifications for arguments, right? He talks incredibly slow. He can't think on the fly. He doesn't have any original positions at all. He doesn't have any original arguments or justifications for anything. He's just such a fucking idiot, right? That's why in this situation he just gets dogpiled, and she's stupid and gets dogged on here because Jay just knows more philosophy. Like, he's just he has a better understanding of the crystallized knowledge of the structure of philosophical arguments and concepts, and she just doesn't know anything.
There's a 4th.
If she knew the same level of philosophy as him, she'd be destroying him right now.
Right?
That's true. 3 is less than 4.
I
Good
know
job,
that.
Jay.
Oh my god.
But the fact that there's
Holy shit.
4, there's still 3 that have happened, right?
Irrelevant to anything
Irrelevant.
modern.
Wait a minute.
So
Is that an
funny.
appeal to authority?
What authority am I citing right now? I know
Well, you're
really
citing facts.
Oh, he got so mad after this. That's why I got it. Because he knew that he was beating the shit out of her, metaphorically speaking, obviously. Throughout the entirety of the debate up until this point, she kind of got a dunk on him here. Okay, a rhetorical dunk. There's no substance to the debate, but he got really fucking mad at this. You know, you realize whenever somebody's getting a dunk on Jay, he gets really upset and he starts shouting and screaming. That's what he did at the end of my debate. Where he kicked me out. It's like, somebody should just make a compilation of all the times Jay has muted people and kicked them out of debates when he's just felt really, really bad. I feel bad. I'll go kick you out of debate. Because I'm a pussy. Right? He does this all the time. It's funny. It's kind of a crybaby.
That you think are appeal
Which
to the
authority have I cited? Name one. Name one authority I've cited, Jay.
You think?
Go. Name one authority I've
You
cited.
don't understand.
Jay, name
I'm
one
making a
authority I've
joke.
cited.
I'm making a joke because
What's
you
the
think
authority I cited?
appealing to a fact is appeal to authority. Those are
That's
two different
not
things.
true.
Yes,
In fact,
it is.
when you were citing
If I talk
Rockefeller,
about
when you're
listen,
citing Rockefeller
so stupid.
as the definition for feminism,
No,
No, I don't think he was. I said if he was, and that would be an appeal to authority. If saying that this person's involvement, or their affirmation of my proposition of the definition, my affirmation of the proposition of the definition is correct, makes it correct, then that would be an appeal to authority. I don't know if that's actually what he did. I can't recall, but.
feminism,
the
saying you're appealing to
funder is not
authority.
the definition, you idiot.
Then why are you appealing to them in any way?
to
If that's
prove the history of the movement
Do you know
and
what an
what
appeal
it
to authority
teaches.
fallacy is? Brian,
Yes,
do you know what an
I
appeal
just
to
gave you the
authority fallacy is?
example.
Okay.
I've been debating for 25 years. I know what the appeal to authority is. That's one right there.
Okay, so
See,
when
that's
you
the appeal to authority
when you
fallacy.
appeal to irrelevant people that sound
It's
authoritative,
Yeah.
not
but
irrelevant.
aren't relevant, the history
Do you know
of
why?
feminism
Do you
isn't
wanna-
relevant to you giving me a definition of feminism
is.
that I can operate
Is it a
off of.
historical?
Wait,
Do you
Isn't
wanna-
relevant to you giving me a definition of feminism
is.
that I
Certain kinds of it is, yeah. The definition is ultimately going to be impacted by the historical use of the word, right? That is certainly true. But bringing up somebody like Rockefeller and their involvement in feminism, unless it's a historically defining moment for the apprehension or the comprehension, of feminism as a concept, it's not really that relevant to the definition. It's not really descriptively encapsulating, right? So that might be an issue on his part.
can operate
Is it
off
a
of.
historical movement?
Can you give me
Is it a
fucking
historical
definition?
movement?
Yeah, of course.